What's up, guys? Blake here. Welcome back to the Raw Food Lifestyle Podcast. I have another amazing guest today. Today we have Dulce Villarreal. She is a raw foodist. She's on the board of directors of multiple food festivals and food retreats in the raw food and vegan realm. And she also underwent an amazing transformation and awakening process of her own. So, Dulce, thank you so much for being on the show. How are you today?
Thank you so much for having me, Blake. Such an honor. I'm so grateful to be here with you and having a deeper conversation because we met at the Texas Food Festival and it was just like a lot going on. And I'm so happy to have this conversation here with you. Thank you.
Yes. And you guys, yeah, we met at the Texas Fruit Festival. That was coming up on a month ago, actually, now.
No.
And Dulce was on the board of directors for the festival, and she was just running around coordinating stuff and managing so many things simultaneously. And I was so impressed by the festival, and we're going to get into that. But first off, I wanted to ask, like, what's your current journey with the raw foods and the vegan, and like, give us a snapshot of like a day in the life of like right now for you.
Well, I am now that I'm integrating after the festivals, I'm back into slow down and I eat fruit most of the day in different versions depending on my schedule. Generally, we blend and we just like keep the liquid gold into the watermelon season still and bananas and dates and just mixing with berries and all of that during the whole day because of our activities just to keep hydration flowing all the time. And then on dinner, we're transitioning into high raw and raw, depending on how we feel on the day, and on also depending on how our bodies are feeling, because we're very intuitive, and if we feel like I want mushrooms, I do saute them with water or um, things like that. But yeah, I will say high raw, and I don't neglect myself if I feel like I want some pumpkin soup or spinach soup. I allow myself to hit it. Yeah, I just feel like it's really nourishing. And depending on my cycle, I honor my body. And if it's during my cycle, and I tend to have something warm, and the rest is just like high on fruits and just as seasonal as I can and in abundance. Yeah, but very important to be hydrating and incorporating the movement, lymphatic, all of that. Just honoring our bodies, which is really important to have that in mind and listening to. I mean, incorporating breath work as much as I can too, and all my activities with my kids and with John too. So yeah, it's how it's been as of now. A lot of salads too, and dressings, and just having variety and in the way that we nourish. Yeah, I'll say that we're doing that way. And if we feel like we need to support each other, or we're feeling like a little bit low or something, then we incorporate some herbs and just cleaning our body in different ways, just like more holistic, but really, really aware of what we really need. Yeah, I would say that's how we're doing
Nice.
right now. Yeah.
I mean, that's so similar to what I do as well. I try to stay non-dogmatic about the raw thing. I think that even when people claim to be like 100% raw, you kind of have to look at the source of the food. Has the fruit been heat treated or irradiated? Are the cashews technically raw? And so there's a
Yeah.
lot that goes into it. And so I just say that I'm high raw as well. And then I do a lot of fruit, just like yourself. And
Yeah.
especially now, like we're approaching the fall, we're approaching the winter. And when the temperatures drop, I think it's natural to crave something a little bit warm. So I've been playing around with the mucusless food and having like a steamed squash or something like that. And that's really good, and I notice it digests really well. And I also use herbs too. And I know they're kind of like, some people are for them, and some people say, no, they're stimulating, just stick to the fruit, stick to the water. So let us know more about like what herbs you use and what's like your philosophy around the herbs. Because yes, they can be very healing, but I know it's like one of those topics that people disagree on. But I'd love to hear your take.
Yeah, I respect everybody's perspectives. In my experience, when I had this awakening, and I think it was God's voice, and the first thing that I was aware or conscious of it was dandelion. So I had to pay attention on, like, for me, I speak Spanish all the time, right? And hearing
Hmm.
dandelion in that moment of my life, I was just like, what is even dandelion? Like, for me, it's diente de león, so I want to know. So I was diving into it, and I was like, okay. So I pay attention to my liver, my kidney, and then I started like unlearning and learning about what nature offer us. And my coach was telling me like, okay, you can use burdock root, you can use needle, you can use dandelion, of course. And I just read about the benefits of it, and I drink it, and it just feels good. Then I incorporated more and different that I was just like, okay. And then same as cilantro or coriander with parsley on my juices with the lemon ginger blast, of course. And I use dandelion when I can, and people cannot like tolerate the bitterness, but it just feels good to my body. So I add it with ginger and things like that. And then my daily tea is like the heal all. So it's a mix of everything, and it really feels good to me. And I saw parasites coming out with just herbs. I didn't use binders, but I'm not like, I will say that I'm open to it, but I just have to be very good ones, and I'm navigating to that. But with herbs, I have seen a lot of miracles in my life, and along with the fruit, right? With staying raw. The transition, when I started this journey, it was like, it's going to be just 4 years ago on February. So it's not that
Oh.
much, but my whole body, as you know, it doesn't work just one system by its own, like it's all connected. And the way that I was just navigating into the healing, it just realizing how can you support your body with the herbs and with the fruit and the hydration, because like most of the people are dehydrated or constipated or carrying a lot of waste. So I was full of it. And even though you may thing like, oh, a person that is not as like, it doesn't look like it's fatty or things like that, my liver was fatty, like I had fatty liver because I was just eating without conscious habits, and it was just like the culture, or you can say the ignorance of how to really nourish your body, right? So it was years of growing up with, even though that I have the ability to, my parents always had fruit trees. So I always loved the fruit. I experienced seizures at 8 years old. And the way that I healed that was with fruits and with the sun and with my mom's hugs. And I told the doctors that I wasn't going to drink the pills. Like, and they said, no, you have to drink this, da 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 da. And I told my mom, I just don't like it. I don't feel well with them. And she said, okay, let's do that. Let's try some days and we'll see how you feel. Okay. So I was conscious about how my body was feeling and reacting to it. And I said, okay, we're not going to drink it. And that gave me peace of mind. I just felt really good without them. And it happened like that 3 years. We said to the doctors, because I had to be in treatment for 4 years. And I told the doctors that I was drinking it and I was going check up, and they gave me like the remission or whatever on the 4 year. But they thought that I was drinking the pills the whole time, which I wasn't. And I got my mom's and my dad's back with that. And I was just so happy. And in Mexico, you can get all the fruits that are so yummy. And I've always been drawn to it. A little bit different from my family in the way that I nourish. Yeah, I will say like that. But still, there was a lot of emotional eating after different years on my growing. On yeah, the way that I was growing, there was a lot of emotional eating, and I didn't have a time to eat. It was just always a good time to be just eating. And my body wasn't like getting bigger, but it was a lot of waste that I was carrying and trauma as well. So 4 years ago, I had my awakening, and the way that I was incorporating the herbs and now really having the consciousness on really nourish my body, because it felt like this is the time where I have to change everything, because I was looking for the answer on the exterior, like just pointing at everything and everyone. And I got to the point where, okay, this is a time to go within and have the solitude and remove myself from all the toxic behaviors, relationships, all of that, and just starting to have compassion and forgiveness to myself and having a different relationship with the way that I was nourishing. I started my yoga certification in the search for alignment, really, because I was just like, all those fears, all my energies were like stagnant. So I felt drawn to it. I felt drawn to like the connection that I was having with God or consciousness. It was clear and, or it is, right? But I'm talking in that
Mhm.
moment. It was just coming and it was just really pure and beautiful. And that's how just feels really good to me. And I'm passing that to my kids, but I'm also compassionate and knowing that they have their own journey and I'm teaching them how to do the same. But I am aware that they have to do it at the right time as well. So they're learning and I am still like processing things that as a mother I would like a woman to know before conceiving or before having the kids so we don't have that generational trauma passed on into our kids. And I think it's really important to have those conversations with your partner, the person that is your soulmate that you're gonna be procreating, if you feel drawn to it. And yeah, all this alignment or the search of alignment was a wake up call and a moment for me to really feel.
What's up, everyone? Blake here. Real quick, I wanted to share with you guys an exciting offer that I am proud to launch, which is my juice fasting course. This is where we are going to take you through a 3-week juice fast. And throughout the way, not only are you going to have the course with the instruction manual, the how-to step-by-step, there's a whole art and science to juice fasting to get the optimal results and perhaps even release some mucoid plaque. That is all yours. But I also host weekly conference calls, and you guys are going to have one-on-one group coaching with me. Sales officially start now, and you guys can get a half off price since this is my inaugural offering, but it's only for a limited time now. So click the link below to go to rawfood.lifestyle, which is my website, to find out more and to enroll now. Get your juice fast started before the holidays. Now is the perfect time. Either way, you guys, if you have any questions, just hit me up, email me, go to my Instagram, hit me up in the DMs, and I'd be happy to talk with you and answer any more questions you have. But let you get back to the podcast, and I will talk soon. Peace. All right, Dulce, sorry to interrupt, but that was just a beautiful portrayal of your upbringing. And I can only imagine that there was, on one hand, these beautiful, amazing, fresh fruits in Mexico, but then on the other hand, you probably have like the most amazing Mexican food in the world that I would just like walk past some sort of Mexican restaurant and just be drooling because it just smells so good.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then at the age of 8, you're like healing yourself of seizures with fruit and, just love and good positive energy. And you had that intuition at a young age, that you were taking these pharmaceuticals for seizures and you didn't feel good. It didn't feel good to you. And you told your mom and she was like, you know what? I trust you. I'm not going to have my daughter take something that doesn't make her feel good. And then it seems like you got treated for a little while and then you kind of shocked the doctors and you were like, yeah, no, I'm good. And they thought you were just taking the pills and not saying, but
Yeah.
you guys, I think that we all need to take a page out of Dulce's book and start shocking more doctors by healing ourselves and, taking these raw, natural living foods and fruits and, good time with family and good time with friends and keeping the vibes positive and show them how we can heal ourselves and keep on pushing this movement forward. And before I interjected, you started to talk about conscious parenting. And I think that that's like a huge subject that I would love to hear, your thoughts on. I was actually kind of shocked that you were a parent because I thought you were like 18 years old or something like that. But tell the audience like how many kids you have, how you juggle all of that. And then just, like your take on conscious parenting, because I think that's huge to start, kind of like having a lot of us like make a turnaround with that generational trauma that you're talking about.
Yeah. Thank you. Well, I'm 39, by the way, and I have 4 kids. Not one or two, four. And I
Wow.
have a 19-year-old, and the youngest is, well, it's 19, 13, 11, and 6. So it's all over. I'm still navigating with uh, just letting them grow by themselves in terms of they have to learn how to be independent but still be on the back like, okay, I got you. But that's how they learn, right? And just encouraging them to be strong minded, because it's really hard nowadays with technology and all of these things that you cannot have them in the bubble and unschooling them because they are in the system. But I try to unschool them every day. And then the topics gets very, very interesting with them, and it's a lot of conversation. But yeah, I think it's really important to have that consciousness if you decide to be a parent, and to heal yourself and the generational trauma that we can carry, and have that conversation as well with your partner, your husband, your significant other, regarding the importance of, like, just for ourselves, being radically responsible for your life, and then have that same or more amount of responsibility for others, that I feel like they choose you to be the parent. And I'm so grateful, and I just always felt the call to have these 4 magical souls to take care of. And regarding the generational trauma, I am just as grateful. Sometimes it's hard, but for all the lessons that I've been experiencing and experienced as a child. There was a lot of abuse, and even if it wasn't from my parents, anything like that, well, my mom and my dad, they all have their own generational trauma as well, right? Like, they carry things, and the lack of the presence of their parents, because, for example, on my dad's side, I never had a grandpa. Like, his dad passed away when he was very, very young. And all those things, they pass on. And like, the body keeps the score, and the nervous system as well, and all the systems well. But yeah, I think it's really important to have that in mind before having that decision. And if you already are having this journey, like, it always can be reversed, as well as any disease and anything, when you put the effort and the love on yourself to take care of those things, and be responsible of them, I would say, like in any situation, regarding if it's the way that you nourish your body, or is the way that you nourish your soul, your spirit, and your mind, and that is connected with your body. And yeah, it's a lot of, like, I can be talking about that because I have 19 years of being a mother, and almost 20. So I have a lot of experience in that. But Awaken, just 4. And it's just like a journey for them as well. That, okay, my mom is going through this, and they've been the most patient persons in the world with all the transition that I have experienced, and the way that they are open to learn as well. And they have this journey with me, I would say. So yeah, I thank you for mentioning that. I think it's really important to pay attention into that, and to, yeah, just working ourselves as much as I can, or we can, before being a parent.
I entirely agree to that as well. And like you said, it's work. And, before I become a parent, my goal is to, get as much of my awakening kind of underway, but I mean, that's amazing that for, these past 4 years that you've been on that journey, and then your kids are right along that journey with you. And I'm sure that you're showing them by example. You're just teaching them some amazing life skills, and the ages of your children that you said, I mean, that hit them at the perfect time in their upbringing, in my opinion. And I just think that's great. So I commend you on that. Conscious parenting is huge. My parents were divorced, and all of those wounds are healed, and they're forgiven, and hugs and texting, and it's great. But I during those times there was some turmoil and stuff like that, and there was some work to do. So sometimes it's it's that work isn't so fun, but once you do it, it's just so rewarding. And there's also the physical aspect of that as well, with the raw foods and cleaning out your body so that your genetics are expressed and as clean and pristine as possible in your offspring. And I wanted to highlight your awakening. You talked about it a little bit earlier, but I wanted to see if you could dive in a little bit deeper on how that's been going for you and kind of what prompted that. If I do the math, it's kind of around the COVID time a little bit when that happened. And I know that
After,
shifted a lot of people,
yes.
myself included. So let us know more about your awakening, because I just think that's an incredible story that you have.
Thank you. Yeah, well, it was after that because I kind of started when I had my fourth child. After having him, I just felt the disconnection big time on my body. And there was a lot of symptoms or the way that my body was speaking to me, like, hey, pay attention here, pay attention here, pay attention, all of that. So I just never felt like I recovered from having my fourth. And there's a lot of things that happened on my personal life that led me to really have the time for myself, where like my body was telling me some things, right? But I got
Yeah.
to the point in a year and a half where my body was screaming at me, like, this
Mm,
is it. So, or
mm,
you make the change, or I don't know what else is going to happen. Because it felt like dying, of course. Yeah. That moment was just like, I started with Ho'oponopono, Ho'oponopono. And so I started reading books and just talking to my body, like, okay, thank you. I'm sorry. I love you. And what is the first one? I forgot. Well,
yeah,
you
like
say
I
four
forgive
things
you.
to your body, right? It's like and um yeah, you ask for forgiveness. I'm sorry. I love you and thank you, basically. So I started with that and just diving in, just nourishing the way that you should, because as a mother, you always are giving. And I was just like giving all to my kids and putting yourself a little bit on the back. And, but you think that that's the way it should be. But no, like you have to fill your cup before you're going to be sharing that with your kids and regarding any situation in life. Like you have to make sure that you're good and that you have peace of mind and to nourish really in a holistic way so you can give that to your kids if that's the goal, right? To give the
Hmm.
best for them. So, like I said, those little words that came to me, like God was talking to me, the clear I was and the openness that I had with my heart, like, I'm your servant, I'm here for it. Like, and then all the things came, right? Like, okay, you're strong, Dulce, you got this. And it's not like love and light all the time. It was the darkness, and I was craving that darkness. And I'm like, okay, you asked for it. If God is giving you this, it's because you can do it. So yeah, it was really hard. It was a lot of releasing, a lot of yeah, releasing with in the right space. I know that the divine timing has been the whole journey for me, for my kids, for everybody around me, that is letting me to be serving others and creating things for others, where I feel like my purpose is it's on, right, to bring this awareness and to share as much as I can without burning myself out. The positive and the power of nature, and and the connection that we can experience if we allow ourselves to, with the right amount of responsibility and the love for ourselves, which was basically that awakening, realizing that I had to love myself and have deep conversations with my parents, with my ex-husband, because that led me also to the divorce and to even his family, and of course my four ones, like my kiddos, but most important with myself, and have that self-forgiveness, knowing that the right thing to do, it's my dharma, it's my way of living now, and it's not about the words that I can express to them, it's about the actions that I do for myself and for them and for everybody around me. So yeah, I try to do that every day, and I just trust in God, and I had to surrender a lot and to release and feel the rage and feel all the things that we storage for so many years. And it's still coming. Like if I go to a retreat, I took my daughter to Bali for a fruit retreat, and it's the best experience that I could have. And I was just like, my intention was to share with her and to make her easy to just be nourishing the whole experience with fruit and be in sacred spaces that I was drawn to. And I had the safest place to release all that anger and and rage, really. So it comes and goes. The need for us to release in different ways. It can be a parasite cleanse. It can be the full moon, and then you clean. You eat cleaner in that time. So your body is really telling us what to do and how to nourish and when to stop the solids as well. When I was doing the yoga certification, I just felt drawn to be on liquids, and because I was already transitioning to, like, I started being not having violence in my food, which is not having any animal product, or being vegan. And I transitioned slowly to like really know how to nourish, because it was overwhelming at the beginning, like all this information and just seeking truth, and it just all connected. So it was a little bit overwhelming. And it got me to the point where I was feeling ready to be on liquids and just release even more, right? And I did it with my whole yoga certification, which was I just did the liquid or the solid vacation um, for 140 days, and for the next 4 days were coconut water, and then it got really intense. And yeah, and then I slowly incorporate again the fruit and be clean into it, because it's really important as well, the refeeding, and to pay
Yeah.
attention on what the body is needing. And yeah, big parasites, worms, all that. Like I didn't release like the mucus plague that you say, but it
Right.
was a lot of waste. Like that, even the smell was like, if you're eating fruit, like I can smell the watermelon, I can smell all the papaya, all the fruit. Like it's so funny. But even my kids, they say, "Oh, I ate a lot of strawberries, mom. Is that normal?" And I'm like, yeah, it's normal. It's like your body. It's what you're feeding yourself, right? So it's okay. So because we have in our mind that whatever waste is coming out, it has to smell bad, but no, it's what you're eating, right? And that's why I don't use deodorant, because I don't need
Yeah.
anymore. But in the beginning, oh my God, I couldn't even sweat. That's how heavy it was. My body stagnated. That I was like, my lymphatic was all clogged. A lot of waste. But yeah, I was saying, like, I was in that phase where I was in liquids 140 days, and not one day was just one bowel movement. It was all that waste coming out every single day. And it was days that it was like, oh my God, what's in there? Because it smelled rotten, like big time. And I'm like, where is this coming from? How much time has been there? Like, you get impressed. You've been in liquids. People will think like you will have diarrhea or something. And I'm like, no, my bowel movements are all the time. And now with the fiber and everything, it gets even better, right? But yeah, it's impressive how you can be carrying a lot of weights for so many years, and the emotional stuff as well. When every time that you're releasing, it's just coming out. Yeah. And yeah, it can be intense. I would say it's more intense that moment when you allow yourself to release and to shake this off. And yeah, it's interesting the journey that you can experience, but it's so worth it. It's not rainbows are butterflies and love and light the whole time. It's not like that.
It is definitely not like that. So 140 days, just liquid. And as you were talking, I was like thinking of questions, and then like you kept on answering those questions as you were going. So, and I've noticed this happens with some of my other guests as well. I think that the raw foods, it just turns on our intuition and some of those human capabilities that are inherent
Yeah.
in humans, especially once you start cleaning yourself out and getting that old waste out. For me, when I released some of the mucoid plaque, I just, not only did I feel great and feel like that I released some sort of also emotional stuff that was attached to that
Yes.
gross matter inside of me, but, I also felt as though that my thoughts were starting to get clear. My mind was starting to get quieter. My manifestations were starting to
Over.
come to fruition quicker, but your awakening journey over those 4 years is just incredible, because you were doing the shadow work. You were doing this work with the Ho'oponopono. You went to Bali and you were, releasing some of that stuff. But at the same time, you were getting your yoga certification and doing a liquid diet, solid food vacation. And so, wow, you were juggling kind of like a lot of things at once. And I think that's why you got so far so quick, is because you really attacked that. And so just kudos on that. And like, that's incredible to hear. And for everybody who's listening too, like that, you set a really great example, for all of us.
Okay.
And so is that like what led you into like being the maestro of the Texas Fruit Festival? And also, I tell us about all that you do with that, because I know there's another festival that you just told me about. Let us know like how your awakening journey led into being a part of these amazing festivals, and then like what do you do for them, and how can we be a part of that?
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. And I just want to mention, like, you don't have to travel to the other side of the world, but I just felt really, really drawn to that specific space. And if I check my natal chart, there's something in there connected to me. And I did it as a celebration because it's so important to celebrate yourself as well. Like after the certification, and that was for me a celebration, and it was my daughter's 18th birthday. So I just wanted to amplify the options for her, like have a different mindset and just appreciate different, but just a different perspective. Because I think all in life, it's the perspective that you can have for whatever you're dealing with, and you can see it as an opportunity or as, oh my God, why this happened to me, right? Of the victim behavior. That is not going to do good for you. But yeah, as I mentioned with the awakening, it's just like the connection and the manifestation, it goes so fast that I am very respectful of that. If there's something in, in, in me that can serve to others, I'm going to be doing it. And I trust that everything is going to align for me to do that. 3 years ago, I attended the Texas Food Festival, or it was, yeah, 3 years that I attended, and I just saw the need of the amazing team that they have. And I just asked Dave, because he's the chairman, and I just asked Dave, hey, Dave, would you like me to help you with this, and that? Because I just came from a fruit stock reunion, which was just an invitation of close friends, of people that just were in the time of needing that connection in person. And Woodstock was on pause. So they got together, and I get to learn a lot. So after that, it was just 2 weeks after, and I just joined Texas Food Festival, and I learned a lot from the speakers, and I just appreciated everyone who worked in there. But I could see opportunities where I can help, and I'm very good at, or I try to do good. And I just ask like, hey, would you mind if I help you? And I just feel like Dave is very intuitive too, and Skylar and Karen. And in that time, Maya was there too. So it was just, we created a beautiful team, and we work hard to just bring this to everyone who needs this awareness, or this connection, or this physical experience. Because since COVID, like everything came to online stuff, but we really need to be the community together, and just like-minded people that you can be yourself without having to be expressing uh, the way that you nourish your body. Because it's so crazy that you, like, if you eat in a specific way that is normal, like nobody's asking you. But if you do something good for your body, everybody's worried. Like, like they ask you 10 different questions, like, why are you eating this? Why you eat fruit? And I'm like, wait, my mom and my dad told me all my life to eat fruits and vegetables. When did that stop? Or just this disconnection that we get over the years. Yeah, I love being part of Texas Fruit Festival. It's a team of 4. And yeah, we're just working right now to next year, which is going to be in April 30th until May 3rd. And yeah, Austin, Texas again. It's going to be in Casa de Luz. It's going to be bigger and better and juicier and longer, 4 days now. And yeah, we're so excited to bring the best that we can and have a whole different experience, because we believe that we need to keep evolving and bringing the best that we can to the attendees and everyone who's there. So we hope to see you there. And yeah, we love hearing your feedback, and we're taking notes on that and just bringing better stuff. Yeah.
Well, it's going to be hard to top. I know you're going to, but it's going to be hard to top the one that just happened for 2025. And that was my first fruit festival experience. I was feeling drawn to do it. And it was kind of a crazy timing for me because I really wanted to do a water fast. And I kind of had it scheduled. And I was looking on my calendar. I was like, all right, I have just enough time to do my little 7-day water fast, and then have like
Little.
a day or two to like kind of reacclimate and refeed a little bit before going to the Texas Fruit Festival. So it was perfect timing for me. And I had a chance to meet Dulce Villarreal. I had a chance to meet Eli Martyr, Don Bennett, John Kohler, and I know I'm forgetting a bunch of people, but those are just the names that are coming to my head. And like, these are people that I binge watch their content online, and like, here they are in person. And they're just, what's really cool about this community, and I was talking with one of my previous guests about this as well. It's like, everyone's so chill. You know, sometimes like you would imagine somebody like they portray a certain personality online, but then when you meet them, they might not be the same person. All those people that I just mentioned, they're just the same person. They're just like, hey, I'm John Kohler, you know, like I love gardening, you know, I love juicing. So I'm like, everybody in our community, we're just like, I think it's because a lot of us have done that work on ourselves, like what you talked about. And we're just like accepting and open. So for anyone who might be kind of nervous, and I was a little bit nervous, I was going alone. It was my first sort of festival, especially a fruit festival. But as soon as I got there, people were just welcoming me. I think the first person I saw was John, actually. And I was like, oh, I saw John on Instagram. Oh my God, there he is in real life. And he's like, hey, man. And he welcomed me and shook my hand. And I was like, I'm going to go sit down now. I was just like kind of nervous. But then everybody just like made friends with me, and I kind of opened up and came out of my shell a little bit and made a bunch of friends. And it was just shocking to me, honestly, because you were talking about how people, you know, like if you're eating the standard American diet, they're just like, you know, they don't think anything of it. But as soon as you start eating like a fruitarian or a liquid diet or something, like, oh, are you getting enough protein? Oh my God, you're going to starve. You're going to die. You know, and so I'm used to being that guy, you know, because like not a lot of people in my area do this. I have a few people who I'm really thankful for, but you know, to be surrounded by like a whole festival full, I think there was like over 500 people or something. Don't quote me on that, but there was tons of people. And I'm like, wait, you do the raw foods too? You do the juicing too? You do fasting too? You like fruits too? Oh my God. Like, you know, you're surrounded by your tribe. And there was like this weird, I'll just tell you really quick because then I want to go into the other festival that you do. But, you know, I had this weird synchronicity where before I booked the tickets to the Texas Fruit Festival, I saw Eli Martyr's video that he made about it, like kind of like a video promo. And then I go on a walk. I have this like really nice kind of naturey trail behind my apartment. And I see a guy and his shirt said, "Find your tribe" on it.
Oh my
And
God.
I was like, that is a sign. Like, and then when I got back from my walk, I'm like looking online, and I'm like, okay, let me just book the tickets. You know what I mean? And I was like, so I
Yeah.
just followed like kind of the signs, followed my intuition. And that's allowed me to speak to amazing people, speak to yourself, and get this podcast going, and get my own brand kind of off the ground. And, you know, it's been such a blessing. So thank you, Dulce, for everything that you're doing. And I can't wait to come to 2026 and let us know about, okay, so that's not all that you do like in the festival realm. Like there's another one that I didn't go to this year, but I need to go to this upcoming year. So what's the other one that you're involved in?
Oh, thank you for your words, Blake. I'm so happy that you follow your intuition and yeah, like I said, the divine timing on going and attending what you really are asking for, and that's another type of manifesting your flight, your timing, allowing yourself to do it, even incorporating your water fasting into that, and really nourishing with. I hope you enjoy the fruit. Um, yeah. The other festival, it's a retreat. That's not a festival. It's a retreat. It's a vegan
Okay.
wellness retreat, and it's gonna be in Michigan. It's gonna be in June, from the 14th to the 18th of June. So Texas Fruit Festival is gonna be the first one next year, and then after that, June vegan wellness retreat, and that's gonna happen over there. And I know that there's gonna be more festivals going on, and we're gonna try to put them all together, a calendar, so people are aware of it and just follow your intuition and attend there, right? So this one, it's you stay there. You can have the option of camping or no tent. Oh yeah, it's the same, but not RVs, I guess. Something around that. You can check on the website as well. So Texas Festival, texasfruitfestival.com. It's in Austin, and BI1retreats.com. It's the one in Michigan. So you can check it out. There's a lot of volunteer options that you can just attend if you want to be into behind the scenes and learn. Like if you want to be in the kitchen, and there's gonna be a lot of people in there. It's gonna be amazing too. And yeah, you can check it out on the website, because I might forget mentioning somebody from all the speakers that we have so far. But yeah, it's gonna be great too. There's a lot. And the community, it's just like attending there, and it's bigger or around the same. We had, I think it was 250 tickets sold on the Vegan Wellness Retreat, and same on Texas Food Festival. But we have a lot of welcomings walking in. Like it got into 400, 500 attendees on Texas Food Festival. So yeah, it's a lot, but it's like I said, it's a different concept. One is a festival, which is like we're gathering that is gonna be bigger now, and the other one's in Michigan. And yeah, it's great. It's amazing. It's a lot of raw chefs are gonna be there. Chris Kendall is gonna be there. There's gonna be juice and smoothies the whole day, fruit all day, and the dinners. Chef Kevin is gonna be the chef of the whole kitchen, and the sous chef is gonna be Chris Kendall. So there's gonna be amazing dressings and pizzas and all the things that you can imagine, but raw. So they put a lot of effort and a lot of passion and love in there, and it's just like so delicious. Everybody loved the pizzas last year, and all the salads, and oh, it was just so good. Chef, it's gonna be like the desserts were amazing as well, and they try to be like low fat, no salt, no oils, of course. Yeah, very clean and a lot of activities. So it's gonna be great. And I manage John and I manager inside, on site, and Sarah and Chase are the co-creators of the retreat. And there's a lot of people working behind the scenes as well that are gonna be over there. And that place have like a amazing nature. It's gonna be cold plunges sauna. There's boat rides. It's gonna be a lot. It's gonna be a lot. You can check it out in the website, and yeah, just save the date for whatever timing it's better for you, and check them out. It's gonna be great.
Dulce, that sounds amazing. I love everything that you just said about both festivals. Oh man. So you guys, we have texasfruitfestival.com, veganwellnessretreat.com. I'm going to put both of those URLs in the show notes in the description box below. So feel free to click there. Dulce, it's been such a pleasure having you on the show. Thank you for sharing your journey and being so open and just honest and real with us. And that just speaks to your character and the type of human that you are. And so, I just honor that about you. And where else can the audience find you? And I'll make sure to put those links below as well.
Thank you. Thank you, Blake. You know that it's a reflection of yourselves. Thank you. I appreciate that. It's such an honor to be here talking with you as well. Well, yeah, on Instagram, Dulce Dharma, and I'm working on something right now, so I'll keep it until it's ready for it. But yeah, you can reach out to me right there. And yeah, whatever people need, just send me a DM, and I will be so happy to answer any question.
All right, perfect. All right. Well, Dulce, thank you once again. This has been so awesome talking to you guys, talking to you. And you guys, thank you so much for tuning in to the Raw Food Lifestyle Podcast. And until next time, we will talk soon. Peace.
Thank you, Blake.